Kia ora. My name is Elaine and I'm Professor Emeritus of Nutrition at the Auckland University of Technology, where I've been working for over 30 years in the field of education, understanding about how the human body works, and also in research, looking at the importance of how we can keep our bodies working well right from conception through to older age. Yacon is a plant, and its root is looks very like a white kumara, but it has a lot of different properties and components to it. It's quite complex, as all plants are. But there are three components of the yacon that are of particular interest. They are what we call bioactive chemicals. These are chemicals that in the human body have an action and change our function for the good. So these three are fructooligosaccharides, known as FOS, F-O-S, which is a sugar that doesn't break down easily in the first part of the gut, but in the last part, the large intestine, it actually feeds our bacteria there and keeps them healthy. It also draws more water into the gut, which means that there's easier laxation. Another component that's of interest is chlorogenic acid, which is a phenol, which acts as an antioxidant in our bodies. This stops the breakdown of our cells due to, you could liken it to a slow burn. Oxidation is what happens when you strike a match or burn a fire, and we are actually slowly burning all the time because we're taking in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. But it's important that the body is constantly repaired and any adverse effects of that oxidation come right, and that's where chlorogenic acid has a role. The final components, which also act as antioxidants, are flavonoids. These are the plant's own immune system. So these chemicals, and there's very many of them in the plant cell walls and also in the juice, that act as a pesticide for the plant to get rid of unwanted bugs, but also to promote healing in the plant. But they also do the same in our own body, and again, particularly in the large intestine, because with all that food constantly going from the mouth to the anus, there's a lot of wear and tear on the gut lining, and that needs to be repaired. And that's where these phytochemicals, these flavonoids and others, can actually help the repair process and keep the lining of our gut intact and healthy. Because a plant and all living things are made of chemicals, in fact the world is made of chemicals, you can measure these in a laboratory. So yacon samples were taken to the AUT laboratory and analysed for specific chemicals. So through chemical reactions, looking at them in different ways, separating out the different components of it. And one of the things that was measured in the laboratory was the antioxidant properties in vitro, in glass, presuming that it will also have the same action in the body. Now, antioxidation is really important because it's part of all the chemical reactions that take part in the body, oxidation and reduction. Now, if there's too much damage done to the body, or the body is fighting a infection or physical damage, then that's very oxidizing. It's very similar in a way, if you like, to the way an apple goes brown after you've cut it. But if you put lemon juice over the top of the apple, the brown doesn't occur. and that's acting as an antioxidant. Well, these antioxidants that we're looking for in the lab, we're able to measure how much power they had to stop the oxidation in a test tube. And what we found was, compared to Manuka honey, it was definitely much more powerful in reducing that oxidation, so reducing possible damage to cells. Chlorogenic acids are phenols, and these are plant chemicals called phytochemicals we're finding are of increasing importance to our health, and chlorogenic acid is one of those. So through its interaction in the gut again, where it acts as an antioxidant, as a phenol, it protects the health of our gut. Well, if you've got a healthy gut, then you've got health in other parts of your body as well. Everything works together. So if one thing's going well, then it will help other things. Parts of the body work well as well. So chlorogenic acid is really important, but with all these phytochemicals, it's having a natural dose is the important thing. Not too much and not too little. As with all things in life, we'll get the best result. But Yacon does have these chlorogenic acids in it, and along with the FOS will be benefiting the gut. It's not just one component, it's the whole deal. So that's why Yacon concentrate is very good, because everything's there. They haven't taken anything out, they've concentrated it up. The fructooligosaccharides, the first component that I mentioned, they are short-chain carbohydrates. They're not too complex, but they do not get metabolized by the body straight to sugars like other carbohydrates do. They are relatively undigestible, but they do travel through the gut, from the mouth, through the stomach, the small intestine, and into the large intestine. Now, in the large intestine, there's lots and lots of bacteria that work in the symbiosis. They work with us, they're part of us, and they metabolize these FOS, the fructooligosaccharides. And their metabolism is different to ours, and they metabolize these sugars to short-chain fatty acids. They're acetate, butyrate, and propiate. Now, those short-chain fatty acids are very special because they are a fuel for the cells that line our large intestine, the large part of the bowel. And they're particularly good for the health of the bowel too. They make sure that those cells keep replacing themselves well, because all the time with all that friction of food going down through your gut, there's wear and tear, so you need to be repairing it the whole time. So these FOS in the large intestine actually help with that repair and help reduce risk of cancers in the large intestine, for instance. I'm a great believer in the whole food being the better part for you, because like with the Yacon concentrate, you've got all the components of the root there, and rather than chemically extracting single ones to include it as a dietary supplement, it is actually a food when it's in the concentrated form. And concentrate is a good way of storing food as well. I think there could be new products that include Yacon that would be interesting as well, because it acts as a natural sweetener without the calories and without the kick of, say, just eating straight sugar or glucose. So there could be maybe a vegetable smoothie or a snack bar that includes Yacon in its formulation, which might make it easier for people to include as a regular part of their diet. Be interesting to look how it suppresses appetite as well, because if it draws water into the intestine, that helps give you a feeling of fullness for longer. And I think all those things could be measured in a holistic way of different things that might happen with Yacon being present in different products.